Now moving into parts of northern England. Let's get the latest now from our correspondents across the country. First to Asad Ahmed, who's in Scotland. Asad.
Well, George, Scotland was warned that it would have bad weather today and that severe disruption would be caused, and quite clearly those predictions certainly weren't wrong. The band of snow has affected the entire country, from the Highlands and Islands down to the borders. Nothing less than mechanical diggers could clear the roads in White Rashes in Aberdeenshire. Drivers had to abandon their cars and take refuge in a village hall, many of them staying all night and for much of the morning.
It's been, what, 8 o'clock last night? 13 and a half hours now, and we're still no further to getting home.
Terrible. I've never seen snow like this in my life.
This scene was typical all over Scotland as thousands of motorists ignored warnings to stay at home, leading to hundreds of them being stranded. But the disruption didn't just affect drivers. Over 100,000 homes have been left without electricity, and all schools in Edinburgh, Fife and East Lothian have been closed for the day, as have many in the north of Scotland. Strong winds are making conditions worse, leading to snowdrifts, and freezing temperatures are adding to the difficulties of restoring any sort of normality across much of Scotland. Well, the Met Office issued a severe weather warning this morning about the snow and strong winds. But for people travelling up from England into Scotland, they're also going to encounter difficulties because Virgin Trains have cancelled all their trains into Glasgow. And if you're travelling by road into Scotland on the M74, you'll come across blocked sections of the motorway, and that's going to cause some problems as well. The police have asked drivers to only make journeys that are absolutely necessary because minor roads all over Scotland are still closed, especially in Fife and the borders. Now, this band of snow is moving southwards into the north of England, from where Catherine Marston joins us now.
This is a county that's already struggling to cope with the foot and mouth crisis, and now it finds itself facing the worst snowfall in many years. Many roads like the A1 are being closed to traffic, all traffic, and the county council has described the situation as chaos as some of its own snowplows have been submerged by the snow. And the bad news is there's worse to come. The worst snow for a decade arrived quickly across Northumberland. The main trunk road, the A1, has been closed just north of Morpeth, so treacherous are the driving conditions.
See where the flyover is?
Yes.
That's where I live, just underneath the flyover.
Take it nice and easy, because once you come off the A1, the roads are getting really bad.
Well, vehicles wanting to head north are stacking up all along the road. Others are being turned back by the police, who are warning people not to venture out unless it's really essential. The County Council would normally call on around 60 local farmers to help clear the roads, but they can't leave their farms because of the foot and mouth crisis. It's left many minor roads totally impassable. The council had already set up a helpline on foot and mouth disease. Now it's had to call in more staff to deal with frantic calls about the weather. Well, this terrible weather has affected many aspects of everyday life. The most obvious, of course, is transport. All major roads heading north out of Morpeth and beyond are now closed to most traffic, particularly high-sided vehicles. The police are saying don't go out unless you have to. Train services have also been affected. The East Coast Main Line is now closed north of Newcastle. And in this one county alone here in Northumberland, 7,000 homes are now without electricity, and because of the dreadful conditions, the companies dealing with that say it's going to be very difficult to get power restored. That's a problem that's being shared by many people in Northern Ireland, and our correspondent David Eads is in Stormont.
Catherine, thanks very much indeed. Well, it may look like a bit of a winter wonderland from up here on the Stormont estate, but I can assure you it's been a pretty awful night going on into the morning for many people, tens of thousands of them without electricity, and the disruptions look set to continue. They knew it was coming. The snowplows and the gritters were out all night as the snow whipped in from the west, bringing with it blizzard conditions. The gale-force winds brought down electricity lines supplying 70,000 homes and businesses all over the province, making for a chaotic start to the day. With traffic lights down in parts of Belfast, police have described the roads as treacherous. These students did make it to class, but the bad weather has disrupted A-level exams and dozens of schools have been forced to close. In some areas, people abandoned their journeys to work, and the main motorways into the city were reduced to one lane. The biggest problem now, though, is restoring power. Northern Ireland Electricity have warned customers that with the bad weather due to last throughout the day, they probably won't reach many of the damaged power lines. Not everyone's complaining. They don't get much snow in Northern Ireland, so when it does come, they make the most of it. Well, those children managed to get up to Stormont, up to the estate here. The same can't be said, though, for the politicians. Of the 108 elected Assembly members who work up the hill just here, only 9 pitched up for work this morning, and the forecast is for more wintry gales and biting cold to come. Back to you, George.